What I need is a good, you know, minimal friction. Seriously. All right, it's 3:09 a.m. I There are few things that you will have to understand. You can know all that is there to be known about manifestation. You can know all that is there. You can know about all that is there to be known about yourself, like self-awareness, completely, your strengths, your weaknesses, and all of that. However, if you're not understanding the fundamentals of how the world is built, it's not going to be a very pleasant ride. That being the scenario, let's get to understanding the world, right? So number one, like three things you'll have to understand, and those are work, the idea of work, and the idea of money, and the idea of leisure, right? The entire global economic output, measured economic output, is roughly about 90 trillion, 120 trillion dollar USD, 120 trillion US dollar global output. And pharma will be about 7-8, real estate will be about 10-20, something of that. Our education will be, like few $1 trillion, like that. All industries combined, the overall output of the entire humanity per year, when measured in terms of numbers and in currency, and that too specifically in United States dollars, it's about 120 trillion USD, roughly, right? Now, what does it mean to be an architect? What does it mean to be an engineer? What does it mean to be a construction worker? What does it mean to be a brand specialist for a consumer apparel brand catering to the Europe market? Or what does it mean to be a bag designer for a consumer brand that is catering to the Indian market, right? What's the point of work? There are like few million, like millions of jobs on any of the job portals that you could hop onto. Could be LinkedIn, could be Indeed, could be Naukri, could be Times Jobs, could be anything. Cumulatively, you have every single day, like lakhs of people are getting hired. Probably millions or tens of lakhs of people are getting hired. I'm not sure about the number, but you get the point, right? Somebody is a marine biologist, somebody is a petroleum engineer, somebody is a chartered accountant, somebody is like everybody has to work. Everybody is working. I mean, like a lot of people are choosing to work because let's dive into that some other time. But yeah, let's understand what work is at a fundamental level, right? Work. And how do we find meaning for work, or why on earth do we have to work? Until the time it's all automated by humanoid agents, or at least a significant chunk of it is automated by humanoid agents, and we are able to imitate nature to a very great extent, we'll still have to do the work, right? Now, imagine you are somebody who runs a grocery store that caters to only like 500 households in the city that you live in, or in the area that you live in, wherever. Now, imagine having no grocery stores or kirana stores at all. What would happen? You'll not be able to pick up stuff that you are now able to pick up. Like, imagine that the quick commerce apps are also not there, right? For simplicity, let's just take kirana store, and imagine like you'll not be able to get your biscuits, you'll not be able to get your idli rava, upma rava, you'll not be able to get your stuff, right? You'll not be able to buy your chocolates, notebooks, anything, right? Now, imagine all the furniture companies, the furniture industry itself not producing any furniture. You will not have the very table on which I am placing my hands. Imagine the entire, what do you call it? Computer accessories, microphone industry. The microphone industry is shut down, and nobody's going to work in the microphone industry. roughly speaking, what would happen? There'll be no mics, there'll be no microphones, right? So what you need to understand is, irrespective of what it is that you're working on, or how, irrespective of what industry or function that you're in, you could be marketing, sales, partnerships, you could be in uh, production, you could be part of plant operations, manufacturing plant operations, you could be in the agri space. Irrespective of what that is, you will have to understand that all the 800 crore people, plus or minus humans, are in one format or other dependent on each other, right? Somebody who's a developer at one of these large, let's just say top 50 tech companies, just think that I don't know anything. It's actually a statement made by a friend of friend, that I don't know anything, bro. I don't know anything. I just know how to code, and I feel so bad about it, right? And he pulls in like almost sitting in India about once a year per year, and he's having the problem that I don't know anything but coding, right? So, but anyways, coming back to it, what the number one thing when it comes to work you'll have to acknowledge, and like this perspective that you'll have to understand, is that as humanity, we're all interdependent on each other, right? If somebody, if all the 50,000 people working for a refrigeration company not going to work, or like nobody is working in that, they'll have no refrigerators. Same with any product that you take. Products, companies, industries, and companies, you have like thousands of people, hundreds of people, tens of people, tens of thousands of people, right? Now think of it that way, right? Having said that, it's essential that you have a significant amount of understanding about yourselves and your interests to pick a industry that matters to you, or that allows you to do stuff that you enjoy doing, right? So one single statement if I were to make about work is, work is how you contribute to humanity, right? It's not just a livelihood for you. It's how you time and your effort, your creative energy, your intellectual energy, your skills, knowledge, and expertise are getting or becoming useful to humanity. You choose how you'd like to spend, through which organization you want to build your organization, or you want to freelance, you want to cater to the plastics industry or the environment, like something like an upcycling company. You decide which company, or which industry, or which cause do you want to work towards. If you, I mean, that's up to you to decide based on your personal experiences and preferences, and if you'd like to take that into consideration, market opportunity and all of that. But one thing you will have to understand is that work is how you contribute to the rest of humanity, right? It's not just your livelihood. It's like, imagine you working for a laptop manufacturing company. So a lot of people are able to have their livelihood because of you, and thousands and tens of thousands of people like you deciding to go to work and work for the company that you're working with, and ship millions of products, millions of laptops and PCs every single year, and put them in the hands of tens of millions of people, or millions of people. So your work is not your work. It's how you contribute to humanity. That's number one. Money and leisure, right? Yeah. So your work is, in a manner of speaking, contribute. Like in few cases, you can take this example. For example, if you're in the tourism industry and you have to take care of the guests, or you're a chef who works for a hotel, right? For you it is what work, but you are allowing somebody else to experience travel or leisure, right? Let's say even if you were a person who was working for a television company, or even if you're a person who's working for a transportation company, for you it is work, but for somebody else it's travel, leisure. Even if you you work for a bag manufacturing company, for somebody else they're just shopping stuff. I mean, obviously, like, it has functionality, but yeah, you're getting it right. So leisure is what you get. I mean, there's always, have ownership, deploy capital, invest in stuff that will make you money passively, like real estate, or dividends from stocks, and all those stuff. But actively, work is an instrument through which you contribute, which I've told like 10 times so far. Another leisure is how you get benefited by the products and services and solutions given by humanity, the rest of humanity, to us, to you, to we all, as all. That's the second thing that you have to understand. Number 3, right now I'm only going to talk about the functional aspect of money, work, leisure, money, the WLM Triad. See, you might have good opinions or bad opinions about money. You might have thorough understanding of the functionality of the money or not. Just follow through for a moment, for a few minutes or seconds. Number 1, you can always dive deeper into the functional utility of money and how money is something that's created by humanity to accelerate, to benefit humanity, right? The instrument / tool that was created to enhance faster and more effective and more evolved version of barter. Let me give you an example. Imagine you being a company that manufactures cars based on internal combustion engine and has a lot of electronic components, right? Now, imagine like having to procure 300 of 1,000 different parts that you have to procure from 200 different companies, and having to barter with every single one of those companies. It will be a huge nightmare. If you have money, like if humanity as a whole is subscribing to the idea of money and currency, they can just deploy cash and get whatever they want. It gets accepted everywhere. It's like, just because of the fact that you have an instrument in place, a value keeping instrument, which is money, you have that in place, you will just be able to trade faster. When you are able to trade faster and there is no delay between your ability to buy, sell, or buy and use and remake and sell, that means the rate of material progress that is happening across the world is faster. So money is a good thing, right? Second one is, it's always like this. You go, like hunt or go to the forest if you are a vegetarian, or yeah. So basically, you go get the food, right? For you, since you got the food, somebody else, is probably cooking, right? So the value that you are creating is by going to the forest and getting those fruits, vegetables, and leaves to cook, or meat to cook. And for others, it's what somebody else in the tribe is contributing by cooking. Somebody else in the tribe is contributing by guarding the food that's already gotten. Somebody else in the tribe is contributing by sharpening, creating tools. So the amount of value that you create to the tribe here is like, you can literally deliver, after all this, globalization, all of that, you can literally trade with pretty much 800 crore people, man. Like, the amount of value that you can create to humanity is infinite. And if you're able to create infinite amount of value to humanity, you obviously have instruments and institutions and people and teams in place to allow you to capture the value, capture some portion of a significant portion of the value that you're creating to humanity, right? So what's money? Money is that, like, it's a tool invented by humanity, and it's storage of value. I am not being very technical here, but I'm giving you a rough idea of what money fundamentally is. Now, if you're an employee, or like if you're an employee, you're basically delivering value to humanity through your company, and your company like delivers through products, services, or solutions, and for your time you're getting paid and you're contributing, you're generating that much value. That's why you're making that much money. I mean, there's always a question of how much value you're delivering and how much value you're capturing. For example, the same job is done 3x lesser price for 3x lesser prices and 5x lesser prices. Sometimes assuming everything else is constant, right? So, yeah. What were we talking about? We were talking about money, right? So yeah, if you're getting paid like 40 lakhs a year or 1 crore a year, you standing you at least worth, you contribute that much worth of money to the rest of humanity through your company or whatever. This is a little rigged in this, not rigged, I wouldn't say rigged, but yeah, it's like you could be the world's best in a particular occupation that doesn't pay you a lot by default, or you could just be a mediocre person in an industry that pays a lot. So there's always that thing, like the value, it has to be valued by the market or humanity, the major forces of humanity, which are companies and industries. That's one. If you don't see that to be there, you always have the option to go and engineer value and build a wave around it. Imagine, like, some might argue that the personal computing wave is inevitable. However, imagine a world where the people who have pushed, let's just say for now, I'm quoting one person, I'm not quoting the other person, but yeah, you can quote a lot of other people. Let's just say Jobs did not push enough, or other thought leaders in the personal compute space did not push it enough. We would still probably be doing the same stuff that we were doing 70 years ago, 50 years ago, 60 years ago in terms of compute and the compute industry, and all the second order and third order effects that we've got from that would probably not have been possible, right? Anyways, so where were we at? Money is work, leisure, understood. Yeah, money is what you like, your contribution to humanity, right? Like, yeah, like, and also it has to do with the functional value, perceived value you engineer through a little bit of marketing, branding, and all that. Functional value, you identify a gap and you solve that gap with a product, solution, service, and all of that. But yeah, it's very, especially if you're taking the entrepreneurship route, it's very important that you understand selling, understand product and marketing. But anyways, money broadly is, if you are having like 10 crores in your bank, if you're not inherited it, there's nothing wrong with inheriting money, right? But I know I am neither for it nor against it at this moment. But anyways, so if you have 100 crores in your bank and you haven't inherited it, it means it's reasonably safe to assume that you have generated that much amount. And if you're not doing any, fine. If you have 100 crores in your bank, that means you have created equal amount of value to the rest of humanity. In a lot of cases, there are a few exceptions which we'll not talk about. But yeah, if somebody is worth 1,000 crores, that means they have engineered ways, or figured out ways to deliver that much amount of value. Broadly speaking, in few cases might not be applicable. What I'm saying might not be true, but 90% of the time, that means that delivery is about the same amount of value to humanity or more. So yeah, if you're thinking of making like tens of crores, tens of lakhs, hundreds of crores, thousands of crores, billions of dollars, or trillions of dollars, yeah, I said that. I know that a trillion consists of 1,000 billion USD. A trillion, but I'm saying $1 trillion USD, 1,000 billion USD, and there's probably has been the only person the past few weeks, that is Elon. But yeah, even if you'd like to have trillions of dollars in terms of net worth or liquid cash, I don't know what you want. But yeah, you'll have to figure out a way to create and deliver value to humanity and catch it. That's broadly the work, life, money triad. That's broadly all that you need to understand. So practical implications, figure out. Yeah, there are a few other quick subtopics in it. For example, when it comes to jobs, right, you'll have to, like, the statement that I said, right? Same work, somebody gets paid like 5 units, somebody else gets paid like 15 units because of a different company or because of the negotiation or a combination of both, right? So whenever you create value, probably there are a lot of inventions where somebody did not patent the inventions, or they did not monetize the invention, right? Every time value gets created, you should ensure that, I mean, you may choose not to capitalize on the value and take a share from it, but yeah, it's a good idea to take value from it. It could be in the form of inventions, building businesses, or anything of that sort, right? Now, yeah, that's let me give a quick example. Like, if you are a founder or a business owner, you can think of how does me selling notebooks or bags helping humanity, and how am I creating value? See, like, if you're creating a bag, that's, even if you're just supplying the existing bags, it's still fine, because people want bags, and you're being that person who ships it to them, right? If you're a logistics company, you imagine a world where there is no logistics company, no product, nothing from China, nothing from nowhere will move either through any form of transport, unless you have wormhole technologies, which we don't currently have. You can always invent that. I mean, I don't know, you figure it out, but you're getting the point, right? So, engineer value, you could like, in the product, in terms of product, services, solutions, but the ideal thing is to do two things, which is to identify problems, or come up with a vision that allows people to do things in a better way than they're already doing it, and or capitalize on the waves. For example, AI wave is there. You can supply energy, supply compute, or you can supply data centers, whatever, right? Or you can like double down on the wave and create products that are powered by these properly built LLMs, or vision models, or image models, right? So yeah, that's broadly work, life, and money triad. Uh, that's pretty much it for now. And if you have any questions around it, please drop the questions down here. Yeah, any clarification that you require, any questions that you need, please drop it in the comment section below, and I'll take a look at it and drop. And if there is anything private that you'd like to, there is nothing private as such, considering the nature of the topic that we have taken right now. Yeah, feel free to drop a text on WhatsApp. See you very soon.